So this is the question for a second exercise. So for every segment we have consumer segment. What is the average number of days between the customer's first and second order dates? This is pretty simple in terms of getting the first order date, but let's see how we can get the second order date. And once we get both the order dates, it's pretty straightforward. So first of all, first order date. So all you have to do is at a customer level, fix a customer ID. Give me the minimum of order date. That will give me the first order date of that particular customer. Okay. Now I have first order date. I'll create a second order. How do I get to the second order date? Any logic?
Maybe just we can write a calculation field saying like at customer ID level, if order date greater than the first order date, then take the minimum of the greater one. Will
Yeah.
it work?
Yeah, that will work. So basically what we are trying to do here is we already got the minimum as first order date. Now filter out all the order dates for each customer which are greater than the first order date for that particular customer. Now once that is so we are basically removing one of the minimum order date and again taking the minimum from the rest of the order dates. So that will give us the second order date. So fixed customer ID. Take a minimum of looking this inside field. What is this? If order date is greater than my first order date. First order date. Then order date. So if you see this inside condition that I have, it will check and it will only give the dates basically that are greater than my first order date. So obviously the order date, the minimum order date will be removed, and on that, once that is removed, I'm taking the minimum from that particular set of order dates. Second order. So once I have second and first order date, it's just a matter of taking the difference. We have a function called dateDiff, which gives me difference in days. So first order date second order date. Okay, and I'll go for my segment. I need to basically get the average. So this is the let's see the values.
Maybe Jagdish, like you can select those bars and right click mark label always show. It will show, I guess. Mark label always show. And save for.
So it's basically that's how we get the average. So second order here the catch is basically one is how to get the second order logic, and the second thing is here we invoke something called, earlier we invoked something called nested LOD. Here we invoke something called conditioned LOD. So LODs with some conditions. So we can manipulate LODs by whatever the conditions that you would like to take into account. So let's move on to the second question.
Just one point. I think you can probably do this in another way as well. Just a suggestion.
Mhm.
So you might be familiar with this concept of lead and lag variables, right? So for example, one thing that we can do is we already have a column for the order date, right?
Mhm.
If we create a new column for the so lead variable of the order date, so then basically what will happen is the second order date will be in the first row, like that, assuming that each row corresponds to a particular order, and then minimum of the order date column will for each customer will be the first order date. Minimum of the lead variable of the order date column will be the second order date for each customer. Then we can take the difference between these two values, and I think that will also give you the same thing.
Yeah, that's also possible. So as I said earlier also, like in Tableau we can get the same task done by multiple ways. But
Right.
Currently, since we are working on LODs, I'm just trying to
Got it.
but what you said is right, like it can be doable. Okay.